Now with Dr. Steve Omondi, Secretary Eastern Africa Water Association, EAWA, Kenya Chapter.
Thank you, the organizers. Thank you, all the participants to this very important launching event for the Wepex. I want to thank everybody who has taken his or her time to come and stay with us for all this time. I also want to thank each and every organizer who has made it possible for us to travel all the way from Kenya and come and enjoy your very great hospitality. I thank you very, very much indeed. My name is Steve Omondi. I'm the Secretary General of the Eastern Africa Water Association. And in the presentation which I'm going to make here, I just want to explain, first of all, what we mean by Eastern Africa Water Association, what objectives this organization has, what activities we are involved in, some of the challenges we normally have, and what is our relationship with the Wepex, and what prospectus we have for the future. Okay, to start with, the Eastern Africa Water Association is a professional association which is focusing on water and environmental conservation within that particular region of Eastern Africa. Indeed, this is something that will be of much interest to Egypt, considering that the source of Nile is from this particular region. Our focus is to conserve this environment and see that the quality of water that is coming from this environment is good enough, and of course it continues flowing in a sustainable manner. The organization was started in 1998 in Uganda, Kono, when professionals in aquatic sciences came together and they felt the need to conserve this important resource and see how they can also create awareness to the people in this region on the need to conserve water. We registered in Kenya in 2008, and therefore we operate legally with, of course, a certificate of registration, and we do make annual returns to the government to see that at least we are operating above board. What are the objectives of the organization? First is to promote networking of water professionals, to foster policy development, research on water, and also training in water resources and management. And obviously this is aimed at ensuring that the aquatic ecosystems in our environment are of good quality. And secondly, also to encourage cooperation and collaboration with the development partners in the areas of water, environment, and also in the education sector. The aim is to produce as many water scientists as possible so as to help in proper management and conservation of this resource. Who are the members of the organization? Most of the members of the organization are professionals in aquatic sciences and water-related fields. We also have got some water engineers as our members. And also, we have majority of our members are academicians and professionals working in universities and research institutions. Other than that, we also have got members who are students, and also businessmen and women, as well as those members who come in areas which are industries related to water sector. So what we do? Our main activity so far has always been focused on creating awareness on the need for conservation of water, wise use of resources associated with water. And for this, we've had a number of stakeholder workshops where we try to preach the need for proper management of water resources. These two key workshops we have organized in Kenya. One was in Mombasa, another one in Kisumu, which were all well attended. We also focus the same line to enhance environmental health, especially of aquatic ecosystems. And this we've been trying to do by, of course, bringing together people, especially students and other people, to assist us in cleaning some of our aquatic environments, like the Nakuru area, and also rivers that feed, of course, some of our water bodies, like Elbagon River. We are also very much involved in training, both at the undergraduate and postgraduate level. Especially in one of our universities in Kenya, we have a number of short training courses in aquatic sciences in Egerton University. Apart from that, we have had a number of research projects which are being run by our members, all focused on this important resource conservation. Indeed, we have a lot of experts who are our members who can give very good expertise, advices on the proper management of water in not only national government and also at the county government level. So these are some of the expertise that we can offer: consultancy in aquatic ecology, aquaculture, fisheries, provision of water, and also in the wastewater management. We have a rich research pool of PhD holders, graduate students, technical staff at our various universities and research institutions where our members operate. And on top of that, we also have a number of laboratories where we do carry out research activities focused on these aquatic ecosystems. And just as I mentioned, consultancy and research activities tend to be our core activities as our organization. I've talked about our legal status. Just to reiterate the fact that we are a registered professional organization. Our activities are fully recognized by our employers, which are mainly the universities and research institutes. And we indeed have a good collaboration with both the national government as well as the county governments, like Nakuru County Government and also Kisumu County Government. And we also have got wings outside Kenya, in the sense that we have got chapters in Uganda, Tanzania, and also in Ethiopia. There are also Eastern Africa Water Association operating in these other countries. Okay, I now come to how we relate with the Water, Electricity, and Power Expo event that is forthcoming. You realize that Wepex is focused on water, and water is our key area of operation, with the aim of conservation of this important resource. EAWA can therefore relate to Wepex through conservation and utilization of the aquatic resources. And here, our interest in detail would be on the water quality monitoring for healthy aquatic ecosystems. And indeed, going through the brochures there, I've seen that some of your industries do produce equipment as well as chemicals that could be used to monitor the quality of water in aquatic ecosystems. We are also concerned on the ecological sanitation practices. And this, of course, we do with the basis of trying to prevent pollution of water bodies. So also going through your brochures, I've seen quite some bit of your companies are also concerned with the production of sanitary materials. That could be of interest to us also. Very important is on aquaculture development and management. EAWA has got a number of members who are working with the Kenya Marine and Fisheries Research Institute, focusing mainly on aquaculture development. And that therefore forms one of the key areas of operation, trying to promote aquaculture development in our country, not only for nutritional values, but also as an economic activity. And we believe that some of your industries, of course, will also be producing materials and equipment which could be focused towards this important area. The same line is on the formulation of fish feeds for higher profitability, and last but not least is our role in the training of both undergraduate and postgraduate levels, with all activities aimed at creating a group of people or personnel focused on improving the management of water bodies in our area, and also for the conservation of this important resource. Next question would be, how do we therefore relate to the business communities? What could be the area of cooperation for that matter? EAWA definitely has the capacity and willingness to enhance collaboration, especially in training and research activities. Through the enhanced professional qualifications of our members, we feel that we could offer a lot of advisory and consultancy services to those who want to venture into provision of water equipment in our region in general. And we may also offer some of our services, especially research activities, through our institutions where we are based. Like Egerton University, Nairobi University has got quite a number of members whom we work with there, and also in the research institutes focused on marine and fisheries. So we've had quite a number of projects that our members have been carrying out in Kenya. Just to mention a few, we have the Finger Ponds project, we have the Mara Flows project, a project that is focused on maybe checking on the environmental flows and the people, how the environmental flows and the people are interacting together in this very important river in Kenya there. We also have got some projects related to the Nile ecosystem evaluations for wise use, and a training project, a postgraduate training project on the limnology and wetlands, which is being done in Egerton University. So what is our focus for the future? We think that we have a very important niche that we need to protect and propagate, and that is on the conservation and monitoring of health of our aquatic ecosystems. And apart from that, we also need to go into the area of wastewater management. Realizing that the water is normally a scarce commodity in our country, its conservation and proper use, I think, is a very important aspect that we need to look into properly. We also feel that for future, we also need to go further into aquatic ecosystem services and economic valuation. This is an important tool because unless you know how much value you are getting from an aquatic ecosystem, you may not realize the need to conserve it. So we think that if proper ecosystem valuation is done, then proper management tools will be employed to see that it is well conserved. We also think that we need to focus a lot on the improvement of fish production, mainly through aquaculture, not only as a source of nutrition, but also for economic values. And we all know that water, mainly as a source, comes from proper conservation of the forest covers. If we only look at the rivers and lakes without going to the catchment, then we are definitely going to lose the whole thing. So it's very important that we consider also the conservation of our catchment areas as a major activity that we need to look into in the future. Just to try to convince you more why you need to think seriously of going to Kenya to do business in water related sector. Number one is the fact that our country, Kenya, is a water deficit country. We don't have much water, which calls for the need for proper use of whatever little is available there. But we are a fast developing country, and you require water for most of the developmental activities that you're carrying out. And because of this very high demand for water, there is also corresponding high demand for its proper use and also for its conservation. Our population, well, compared to Egypt, is not so big, but indeed for our country, we are really rapidly increasing in population. And that, of course, is creating pressure on the demand for proper use of water. Now our country is further subdivided into county governments. And each of the county governments is trying to see how best they can use the resources they have. And water, indeed, in almost all parts of the country, is not fully adequate, which means therefore that there are more areas where you as business people can go into, especially on the area of water extraction and also water storage and so on and so forth. Most parts of Kenya do not have piped water. While with electricity you're talking about 37% coverage, in fact with water it is less than even 3%, those with piped water. And this you will mainly find in urban areas. The rural areas is pathetic indeed. And that means therefore that most of our people depend on water bodies like rivers, wells, springs, and lakes for water supply, most of which may not be well treated. This therefore calls for need to have treatment equipment and treatment facilities of water so that people may have at least good quality water for their use. Also, the water storage facilities is very much required so that people may also harvest maybe the rainwater and keep it for proper use, considering that the country is a water deficit generally. There is prudent there is need, of course, for prudent use of this water, and that may call for maybe think of other means of life that may lower the use of water, like making use of ecological sanitation technology to lower the demand for water for sanitary practices. We also need to think of irrigation technologies that will lower the use of water, things like the drip irrigation technology. And I believe Egypt, of course, is such a big expert in irrigation systems because most of the agricultural produce comes from irrigation system. And that means, therefore, that there is a very big field where you can go into in Kenya to at least do business with us in those areas. So businesses focused on these provision facilities, of course, are very, very much welcome in our country. And for this, of course, partnership is needed. You need at least to work with people there in Kenya whom you can collaborate with effectively so that we may succeed in doing strong business connections. AO, of course, is very much ready to maybe help in bringing in these partnerships or collaborations in those areas where we think we have the expertise and we can be of help. And we have quite a number of collaborations with the business communities which we think we can make use of, as well as with the county governments that may be of much help. And more so, we think that collaboration in aquaculture could be a very good area for us as AO because we have quite a number of expertise in that particular area. We know that the challenge always in carrying out most of these activities is always funding, but all the same we still try as much as possible to see that we can resource for funds so that we may succeed in most of the activities that we may wish to carry out. And for this, indeed, we think that you have the potentials of partnering with us to see that we forge ahead in proper water management and conservation of our aquatic resources. We very much look forward, therefore, to partnering with you in the East African region for proper development of our aquatic resources in the new projects. I end, therefore, by appreciating all of you once again for coming for this launching workshop, and I thank you very much also for the invitation. That's the organizers. We look forward to working with you. Thank you.